For the first time in nearly 2 decades, Budokai Tenkaichi is back in all but its name. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero reinvigorates the PS2-era arena brawler for modern hardware, and the results are nothing short of breathtaking. Typifying this niche-style beat-em-up is an over-the-shoulder perspective, an up-close and personal viewport upon which to unleash feisty punches, kicks, combos, and laser beams at blistering pace. Eye-melting visuals lifted straight out of the anime series precede ridiculous energy beams, ultimate moves. The Budokai Tenkaichi trilogy is a thrilling brand of fighting game, one which many fighters have spent countless hours owning their expertise. With over 100,000 concurrent players on Steam since Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's release, many more hours are already being pounded in this long-awaited sequel. Dragon Ball is amongst the most influential manga of all time, with coexisting anime series in Dragon Ball Z up there as a gateway to Japanese animation alongside Pokemon for many in the Western world. With services like Netflix providing streaming access to a wider audience, anime is firmly in the mainstream, and its popularity is consistently rising. A new Dragon Ball game is always significant, but we've not had a fighting game adaptation since 2018's kaleidoscopic Dragon Ball FighterZ. In the 6 years since, there's been tactical card battler Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission, asymmetrical multiplayer Dragon Ball The Breakers, and the well-received action RPG Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Most of the playable characters in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero are dropping in from the Z-era series and movies, but there are plenty from late 90s sequel series Dragon Ball GT and mid-2010s midquel series Dragon Ball Super featuring 2. Interestingly, characters from the original Dragon Ball are vastly underrepresented, although these might come in later DLC. Even without original Dragon Ball characters though, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's roster is gargantuan, with 182 characters to choose. Although, it must be said each distinct character harbors numerous transformations. Series protagonist Goku has 18 different versions, for instance, so the actual number of individual characters is much lower, but still impressive nonetheless. As we hinted earlier, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is a looker. Bandai Namco have gone all out to create a brawler which can boast the best anime-style graphics which has ever been committed to a video game. The flashy visuals support the bombastic action perfectly, especially in the aforementioned ultimate move animations. In fact, this enhancement can be highlighted in side-by-side comparisons between Sparking Zero's ultimate move animations and those of the Budokai Tenkaichi series. Observe the difference between Piccolo's special beam cannon or Vegeta's final shine attack animations, and they're night and day. This point isn't to downplay Budokai Tenkaichi's technical achievements, but more to highlight how vibrant Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's are. Characters are amongst the game's biggest selling point, and developer Spike Chunsoft Co. made the right decision in focusing on unique, visually arresting animations for each one. It'll make switching between as many characters as you like all the more rewarding, as you'll get to experience each one's distinct maneuvers and their associated visual aplomb. As a further point to underscore the commitment to putting Sparking Zero's warriors front and center, check out the shifting camera work as you slide through the character selection screen. It's only a minor attention to detail, but it's still great. The way the camera smoothly adjusts to the character's size, then refocuses on them as they perform a small introductory animation, it's a nice addition to an ordinarily pragmatic phase of setting up a fight. There is a steep learning curve if you want to get the best out of your chosen characters though. Each character comes with their own signature abilities, transformations, and techniques. Plus, the game has a broad range of offensive and defensive techniques, plenty of blocks and dodges to practice, and confusingly, some of these maneuvers feature more than one variant to wrap your head around. For instance, Sparking Zero has no less than 3 counters to master, and worse still, fights are so fast-paced that reading and reacting to your opponent's attacks is immensely challenging for first-timers. There's a chance you'll button mash your way through bouts in the early stages, but with practice and time spent in the game's training modes, you'll be blocking, dodging, and unleashing rapid-fire combos in no time. Once you reach that stage, once Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's freneticness becomes understandable, the soaring, showy, satisfying combat becomes addictive. And it's worth overcoming those initial roadblocks for another reason. There aren't many fighting games quite like Sparking Zero. and nor have many emerged since Budokai Tenkaichi 3 in 2007. Naruto Ninja Storm comes to mind, Xenoverse maybe, Dead or Alive perhaps. Dragon Ball Raging Blast 1 and 2 coming in 2009 and 2010 respectively. Essentially, 3D fighters loosely based on Budokai Tenkaichi are the best bet for something similar. What we're trying to say is, though, is much like its Budokai Tenkaichi predecessors, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is a singular fighting experience. There isn't much else out there like it. In that sense, it almost feels like the style of 3D arena brawler is tailor-made for a series like Dragon Ball. Movement too quick for the naked eye, energy beam attacks, slick mid-air strafing, these kinds of maneuvers are integral to Dragon Ball's character set. And whilst the more traditional 2.5D Dragon Ball FighterZ was a brilliant title, shifting these characters to full 3D arenas showcased their planet-raising skill set much more effectively. The openness of Sparking Zero's arenas make Dragon Ball FighterZ feel cramped in comparison.
Why, you?
Developers Spike Chunsoft Co. and Bandai Namco have clearly positioned Dragon Ball Sparking Zero for online matchups. There's not a lot of sense in the single-player campaign, its story mostly told through slideshows and cutscenes, and the numerous what-if scenarios plunging holes in each character's narrative arc. If you're not already familiar with Dragon Ball's various sagas and story beats, then the campaign likely won't make any sense. Instead, there's a range of online modes. Battle Mode harbors ranked matches, each with highly customizable parameters to better find the ideal opponent via balanced character cost restrictions. World Tournament Mode allows you to create or join a championship against rivals across the world. And the Battle Mode features numerous optional tweaks that can adjust stages, victory conditions, or available characters. Still, given the raft of popular and lesser-known characters from a range of Dragon Ball media and the perplexing story, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero seems more akin to a love letter to the legendary manga and anime series and creator Akira Toriyama's life work than a game marketed towards non-Dragon Ball fans or indeed casual fighting game players. Best Dragon Ball game ever, states numerous user reviews on Steam, and yeah, we can see that. We've said it already, but the 3D Arena Battler is the perfect mold for Dragon Ball characters. Spike and Bandai Namco have plowed so much focus on the individual characters in this game, applied careful attention to ensure each shine in the widespread arenas they'll fight in. It proves that careful consideration in how best to represent the source material is as integral as the gameplay itself. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.